say, hey guys, it's Claus. Welcome to another episode of The Biggest Asshole, the series where we watch multiple assholes in action, and you get to vote on who you think is the biggest asshole. There can only be one, and there's a voting button in the top right corner of the screen where you can vote after you watch all the clips. And we're going to start right away here with Caramba 72, and his RU251 has sent in this clip, and he is happy because there is a platoon on his team, a good-looking platoon, and 76 Monty from the QSF clan has just shot him up the ass. He shot him up the ass. There's two Mao Bracas on his team. And, you know, you always feel confident when you have a team platoon, look like good players. You know, they're from good clans, QSF and QSFL. The QSF player shot him up the ass, and they're platooned with an artillery who is not part of the clan. And he's in the corner there. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder if he's taken note that one of his teammates has shot this guy up the ass. Well, let's keep watching and watch what happens here. But anyways, one of them shot him up the ass. I don't know why, right at the beginning of the game. Why would he do that? And that is kind of thrown off Caramba 72 here. And oh! He's been shot for 1,000 HP by the M40, M43 Carax. Because I guess the platoon is just a platoon of assholes. And that's what we do here is we watch them and you get to vote. Were these guys the biggest assholes? Well, you get to decide. And read the chat here. He says, Artie, why did you hit me? Basically, he's asking him, why did you hit me? And the artillery replies, he explains it. He says, what are you on about? I didn't shoot you. I don't know what they're replying. This is what they do. I guess their strategy is to ensure defeat, is what they like to do. They like to start the game and try and make sure that they lose. There's the artillery that took it 1,000 HP of damage. I guess there's no one to help you now, Carax, or whatever the hell your name is. You're going to die now because, well, you're an asshole and your light tank's not there to help you. You know, karma is a bitch, though. So, 76 Monty shot him up the ass, and the Artie pretty much finished him off. This is Smedley here. He has not partaken in anything and is wondering, what am I doing? Well, let's move on to the next clip. And the next clip has been sent in by Biggest Dickus and his Batchat 25T, who is also being prompted at the beginning of the game. Just in case you want to adjust your brightness, you can check the graphics settings. In case you weren't sure where to adjust the brightness, you do it in the graphics settings. I'm glad the game reminds you of that every time now, especially when you watch a replay, just in case you forget. Now, what's going to happen in this game? Well, there is a platoon on his team. Maytexo in the Type 4 Heavy and Sebman in the AMX 1390 from the D-Star Clan. It's always... Oh! He's been shot up the ass and he's on fire and he's dead in one big explosion. And the Type 4 Heavy has turned blue. And just in case you've forgotten, you can adjust the brightness and the graphic settings there. But the Maytexo in the Type 4 Heavy has one-shotted the Batchat that moved up to spot for him. And, well, let's check the chat here. Let's see if there's any explanation given. I'm sure that Biggest Dickus is a little confused here at this point. And does he... Let's read the chat. Does he type anything in the chat? Yes, he does. He types, Biggest Dickus asks him, and why you team kill me Type 4? He's wondering. He's trying to figure it out here. He's asked him a question, why would you team kill me? And is there any reason? He's still incredulous. There's no response yet from Maytexo in the Type 4 Heavy. Is there any reason that you would team kill your own Batchat? Let's wait. This could be explained. It could just be a misunderstanding. Well, one of his teammates suggests that maybe it's because the Type is an idiot. That could be the reason. Or he could... Clap, says the T44. Good job, team. What is he going to reply? Is the Type 4 Heavy going to explain himself? Yes, there he is. He's explained it. Sebman told me. That's why he team killed the Batchat, because Sebman told him. What's the matter with you? Are you 4 years old? If Sebman told you to go down into the downtown of your city that you live in and go to the busiest intersection in the middle of the busiest intersection and pull down your pants and underwear and start jerking off in the middle of the busiest intersection of your city, would you do that? And then when the cops show up and you get arrested, you just tell them, well, Sebman told me. He told me to come down here in the middle of the intersection and pull my pants down and jerk off. So he told me. That's my explanation. Sebman told me to do it. It's not my fault. Well, was he today's biggest asshole? You guys get to decide. This next clip is sent in by Sir Buis from the SDL Clan, driving his GW Panther, that artillery. It's always good when your game starts off when you have an incessant pinger, the T-44, that pings the map over and over and over again, just to annoy you before the game starts. But alas, the pinger is not a contestant on the biggest asshole today. He was a bit of an asshole at the beginning for pinging, but more of just the annoying, playful, stupid type of assholes, not the game, malicious, incensing, professional, trolling asshole that we're looking for in this series. And, well, if he's not the asshole, who is? Well, it's hard to tell because when you watch an artillery replay, people disappear from your screen because he is now in aerial mode, but I am not showing you the aerial mode. I'm showing you the third-person perspective mode so you can understand fully what's going on. And if we watch what's going on here, we'll see that strangely there is an Oni that has just disappeared who seemed to be pushing that T-44 that started pinging the map at the beginning. They're right there in front of the artillery, but we can't see him because he's in overhead mode again. It's funny how artillery can see enemies on the other side of the map from aerial view, see obstacles and fences being knocked down, but he cannot see teammates that are right in front of him because that's how this game works. Artillery can sit on the red line like this and kill enemies on the other side of the map without having to worry about anything, in complete safety. And that's why a lot of people don't really like artillery, because this is what they can do. They can see all the way across the map and shoot you and do 900 or 1,000 damage, stun you, and make your game miserable, and you cannot retaliate because they're hidden on the other side of the map on the red line. But something strange is happening. His tank seems to be floating. Oh, he's gotten out of aerial mode, and there is a big Japanese heavy tank trying to push him off the edge of the map. Who is this guy? Who is it? It is, read his name there. It's Ivo O from the Tally Clan. Has decided he doesn't want to troll the T-44 anymore. He's going to troll the artillery. Tally ho! He's disappeared because I guess he's in overhead mode again. He's going to try and shoot. There he is. It's fun just to watch this, to see tanks disappear and appear. Or maybe it's just the broken game mechanic. Maybe there are actually invisible tanks in this game and you don't know. You ever thought of that? You're playing the game and some enemies sneak up behind you and flank you and start shooting you and you go, where do they come from? Well, they were invisible. They just drove right past you and you didn't see them. You can't complain, you can't report it, because how the fuck would you know? They were invisible. I bet that happens all the time. I'm sure it happens in my games. Whenever I die, I'm sure that there are invisible tanks that drive around behind me and shoot me. If they were actually visible, if the game worked and the mechanic worked, I would have seen them and I would have been able to defend myself. But they're invisible. There's invisible tanks everywhere in this game because the spotting mechanic doesn't work, and nobody knows because they're invisible. You ever thought of that? Do you know if you snore? Do you know if you snore? You don't, right? Because while you're snoring, you're invisible to your snoring. You're asleep. You can't ask you if you snore. You can't ask a player whether there are invisible tanks running around. Cheating. Why? Because no one knows. They're invisible. And is this clip over? Well, you guys get to decide if Ivo from the Tally Clan was the biggest ass. I just showed you this one to show you, to illustrate that, yes, tanks can be invisible. It's not that far-fetched. I know. You might not vote for this guy, but I wanted to show you this clip. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one here was sent in by RC in QT in his Martyr 2. And he's playing in his Martyr 2, and there is a platoon on his team. These two guys in T29s. It's Charlie Sheen, F-18, and General Grant, who have decided to immediately try and balance the Martyr 2 on his nose. And they did succeed, but he fell back down. I guess they just wanted to show the martyr that, who was, well, they wanted to show him who the next contestants were on the biggest asshole, and they've now been distracted. They've noticed an artillery, and they've gone to wedge themselves on either side of the artillery. They started trolling the martyr, but they thought better of that and decided to go troll the artillery instead. Now, they haven't really done anything. They've just parked beside the artillery, so I'm not sure what their plan is. I guess they're just trying to keep the artillery company in his bush. It looks like General Grant is moving around a little bit over there, and he's, General Grant is leaving, but Charlie Sheen is pushing the artillery off the cliff, and the artillery has fallen and exploded and died. And Charlie Sheen has turned blue. Charlie Sheen's F-18 has turned blue. His friend General Grant has left. I guess he's decided to go fight. And there goes Charlie Sheen. He's turned blue immediately after pushing that artillery off the cliff, so it means he probably does this a lot. So why not shoot him up the ass? RCNQT has decided, well, you know what? You balanced me on my head at the beginning of the game, and now you've turned blue. So why don't I just shoot you up the ass? I did it once. Why don't I try again? First, I will just aim carefully and track you so you can't get away. And then I will aim at your big, fat, stupid asshole ass and kill you. And if you were reading the chat, you will have noticed that Charlie Sheen explained what he did by saying, I hate artillery. And old RCNQT here has responded by basically telling him, well, I hate assholes even more. Was Charlie Sheen and General Grant the two T29s today's biggest assholes? You guys get to decide. Crow850 in his TVP 5051 sent in this next clip, and we've picked up the game here just a little ways in, and you can see that he has moved aggressively up here into a perfect spotting location in this bush. And he understands spotting mechanics in this game, and he understands view range circles and render ranges as well. And he knows that he's moved aggressively far enough because most of the TDs on his team are camped way back behind the base as far away as possible, so that if he moves any further up and spots enemies that may be camping behind their base, then his TDs will be too far away and will not even be able to shoot because they're camped so far away that anybody that he spots will be beyond their render range. So he is staying here, aggressively spotting from this bush as far as he thinks is safe to go, which is a good call. If he moved any further up there, the only thing that could happen is maybe he would get killed, or he would spot some enemies that his TDs could not support and shoot. So why not just sit here and take some shots himself? And he's lined up an enemy here. Oh, the enemy's disappeared. He didn't get those shots. He's being patient. Oh, there's someone he can shoot now. He knows that, and he's got a hit and another hit, and he's emptying his clip because this tank shoots 4 shots. And he did some damage. He missed quite a few of his shots, and now he's pulling back. And he has a little bit of a reload there, so he's trying to stay in safety while he reloads, which is another smart thing to do. And all this tactics, all these things that he's doing to be careful to try and win this game is causing some bit of stress for one of his teammates, the FV215B183, Gurgetti from the GSH clan, who is watching him just clip another enemy, get a kill, and pull back while he reloads. This is starting to aggravate the Death Star, Gurgetti from the GSH clan. This is starting to get him upset because he thinks that this TVP 5051 should do something else. It's not good enough for him to sit in this bush and shoot enemies that he detects and to do damage and pull back into safety while he reloads. He should move somewhere else to spot for him, because he wants to stay at the spawn in the base, way back beside the artillery, and shoot targets that will appear beyond his render range. Like these guys over here that are spotted, but for some reason are not being shot by the Death Star because they're too far away. But the Death Star wants to camp at the spawn. He wants to stay at the spawn, and he wants this TVP to move up, spot enemies that will magically appear within his render range even though they're too far away. I guess he wants this TVP, he wants Crow850 not only to spot the enemies, but to shrink the size of the map so that when they appear, they will be within his render range and he can shoot. This is just causing him to get infuriated and angry, he is getting more and more and more upset. He has not thought that maybe he should move up. He's thought that I'm going to start pinging the location of this TVP now. I want to ping his location and let him know that you're not doing what I want you to do. And why don't I just shoot you and kill you while I hide behind this house, out of range of everyone? Why didn't you make the map smaller and go spot enemies and make them appear in my render range so I could shoot them from behind this house at the spawn that I've sat at all game? Why didn't you do that? That's what Gergetti from the GSH clan. I just don't get it. Was he today's biggest asshole? And what's going on in the chat here? Now the TVP saying, Polish idiot, spot, you moron. No, I guess you spot, you moron, is what he's trying to say. Asshole! It's all too much. It's all too much this week, guys. You guys get to vote on who was today's biggest asshole. Use the voting button in the top right corner of the screen. Are you reading the chat? Stupid meds, no spot for heavies. Heavies are not spotters, says the 113. Heavies are not spotters. I care not for beans. Help! Help! Eye of Hell says. He's been camping all game. He had to spawn. Help! I know you're all dead, but help! I need your help now. The FV and the object. Help! You're all dead. We've been here since the game started. Behind this house at the spawn. Help us! I shot you, old horse playing games then. I shot my own teammate. Help! Help me! I did 1,400 damage. I couldn't shoot anyone else. There were no enemies on my screen. I was too far back. They were outside my render range. I could only shoot my own teammate because he was close enough. I have a Death Star, for Christ's sakes. I wanted to shoot the gun.